Hello traders and welcome back to another Sunday video. Please bear with me this time around as I am sick. You can probably hear it in my voice. I'm still going to do some analysis with you guys for the week ahead, some trading setups that I'm looking at myself. I just apologize in advance for the odd sounding voice. Anyways, let's jump into some market analysis for the week ahead. I like to start these with usually things that I am personally most interested in, meaning I either have a trade on or I am looking to place a trade on. And currently I have a gold trade open. I'll show you guys this. This is a signal that was shared inside of our VIP Discord last week. I am long gold. A small position on GLD, and then also I have a gold miners company that I also purchased, which has strong correlation to the price of gold. But I bought gold around, let's see, right around 1952. In fact, I can pull up the trade when it was first taken here, and it was shared at 1953. So my entry at 1953 came in last week as price was pulling back. So we had this incredible run up, right? And then price started to pull back. And in this pullback, I was looking for this green zone here to be my point of entry. Now you can see I was a little bit early with my initial buy around 1953. Price went against me briefly, but then ultimately with some of the Federal Reserve meeting stuff that came out, I was proven right on this initial gold trade. Now my stop loss was below the lows here, which is nice. I was able to hold on to this trade despite a little bit of drawdown and still holding on to this trade going into the week ahead. Now I have my stop loss trailed, meaning that if price does decide to break through this level of support here, I'll go ahead and hop out of my trade for a profit. So I'm in a good position. I can't lose on this trade. And my goal for this week is to see if the gold market is able to rally beyond the highs. If the price is able to break the previous highs around 2000 for my friends who also pay attention to gold, this I would say is a very bullish indicator. And at that point, I would look to trail stops higher into more profit. Now, again, the dream scenario for the gold bulls out there alongside myself would be to see if we can actually break through the previous highs. If that happens, I will be looking to trail stops. And my next target on gold, we actually have to zoom way out to get an idea of where this thing could go. And in fact, we have 2070, which I should mark on my chart as a possible point of entry. I'm sorry, point of interest. If price does get strong here, if we're able to break out on the daily chart, I think that we have a very good shot at running back and testing those highs. 2060, 2070, that range previously was a major level of resistance. I don't know if you guys remember this time, but gold had a really strong run up here and back in 2020. Now this was actually during the Ukraine situation with Russia. And so it would be very interesting to see if price is able to get enough speed to break through through resistance and actually form support here to continue higher. So my opinion on gold is still bullish. And remember guys, if you want to see all the trades that I'm taking within the Discord, we do actually have a sale going on right now. You can join the VIP Discord. You can see our entries and exits. You can learn the strategies that we use on my channel and on the A1 trading channel. When I say we, there's several traders within our group that are very, very experienced veterans that share their entries, their exits, all of their strategies. And we're also launching something brand new, which is the really, really exciting update. We are launching a training program for people who are interested in getting funded. This is available to gold members within the group. It will be talked more about going into this week, and you'll also be able to join the community. So if you're not already in the community and would like to join action there, use the link down below in the description. If you use promo code YTVIP on the screen there, you'll get access to the group for a discounted rate. So check it out and hope to meet some of you guys in there soon. Okay, so that's pretty much my update on gold. Like I said, I am currently long myself. Part of the reason here also, it still is one of the few remaining buy signals on the Edge Finder. Gets a score of +5, scoring high in COT data, retail sentiment, seasonality, trend reading, GDP. In fact, I would like to go see what that COT data is all about this week. Let's go have a look at that now. So we'll pull up the Smart Money Tracker, and we can see gold has actually increased, guys. This is really, really interesting stuff. Gold has not only already been a bullish signal from institutional investors, but we see now gold increasing from where it was last week. In fact, we could see that if we go down and take a look at the numbers here. Let's pull up gold. Where is gold? There it is. Gold had an increase in an increase in long positions opened by institutional investors and a decrease in shorts. The shorts are covering, they're getting out of there, and the longs are building. This is huge information, and again, very, very important stuff to pay attention to. We see gold increasing its buy position. Now, on top of that, we have some interesting stuff also. You can take a look at, if you want to freeze the video, pause the video, you can take a look at any of your favorite assets here. USD has a slight change in both, but not by much. Gold seems to be one of the more interesting ones out there. So we'll continue to monitor that. Another notable one is the pound, which had a big decrease in longs recently. A notable thing to pay attention to there. And so when we go back to the watch list, again, what the watch list allows us to do is it allows us to look at all the assets from a bird's eye view and get an idea of things that are becoming more interesting to pay attention to. AUDUSD is one I actually want to take a look with you guys here today. So we'll go pull up the chart, AUDUSD. And this one really had an interesting sell-off. As price came up into this zone here, we saw sellers get strong enough to push this price down and break this sort of upward trend that we had going on all of last week. So towards the end of the week, we had a bearish breakdown. And in my view, Aussie dollar looks continuously bearish here. So we actually have this sort of upward trend, like I said, that was forming last week. It broke to the downside on this candle move here. And now, in my opinion, I think Aussie dollar looks like it's probably headed back down to the previous lows. And if that level were to break, that actually could be an entry for breakout traders. So we talk multiple styles here. I personally like to look for things like break and retest with confluence from the edge finder. That's kind of my style here. But when talking about AUDUSD right now, there is actually the argument for some sort of breakout opportunity. So something like this, where we see the break and maybe there's opportunities to look to get in on the break or on the retest, that sort of thing, with confluence from the edge finder. And again, we get a -8. That is a strong sell bias. What makes that up? Well, let's take a look real quick. So we get a strong sell on the software here, showing us that under the COT data, the Australian dollar is very much shorted by institutional traders. And then you have the dollar, which is very much heavily longed by institutional traders. The crowd is betting that this thing will go up, which is a red flag, considering most of the time the crowd is on the wrong side of the trade. We have GDP growth at 2.7 in the US, which is a higher GDP growth in Australia, which is beneficial for the dollar. Then we have inflation more under control in the US. Unemployment slightly ekes out a gain for AUD, and then of course interest rates higher and more attractive for the US dollar. So overall, I do like this one short going into this week. If there's a setup, perhaps there will be something of interest. Like I said, my favorite would be a breakout, retest, and continuation play on Australian dollar, US dollar. So that is one chart that I'm interested in. We'll head back to the watch list and see if we can find this. Dollar CAD, another one to pay attention to. USD CAD. USD CAD, so the dollar against the Canadian dollar, sort of the inverse relationship. The dollar CAD was actually seeing some levels of resistance here throughout the week, and then finally popped on the end of the week. The last couple 4-hour bars here, you can see broke out to the upside, and price was able to sort of get outside of this downward structure that we saw. This one going into the week, in my opinion, is still bullish. And in fact, it's bullish until we break through the lows here. If we break through the lows, like I said, I think the bullish case sort of breaks down. But this holding throughout the week is a very telling indicator, in my opinion, from price action standpoint. We saw a lot of a lot of support here, and even able to break through this resistance line to the downside, this trend line. So in my opinion, the US dollar CAD actually looks kind of good on the lower time frames, even around current levels. So we're now zooming in on the 1-hour chart, and we can draw this level of support here, where price was able to break through this level. Intraday, you can see a big spike. These are 1-hour bars, so you had several hours to the upside, and then pulled back towards the end of the week. In my opinion, this could just be some take profits happening, and in my view, we continue to see the dollar CAD go up from here. That's my opinion. Like I said, I am wrong often when it comes to trading. The thing here is, it's not about how often you're right or wrong. It's about how much you make your winners count when they are correct. I mentioned that gold trade that I took. I've actually had a pretty significant losing streak going into this past week, but this one gold trade was able to capture some incredible gains on on the account just because I was able to hold on to a really good winner here, moving from my entry, hundreds if not thousands of pips on gold very, very quickly. So again, this is the thing. It's not about being right all the time. It's about when you're right, really making it count. And like I said, I'm holding on loosely to this gold trade, looking for a pop above the previous high this week. If you guys are already within the VIP group, you'll see notifications if I do make some changes there going into this week. Now, the retail sentiment tab is also something I wanted to show you guys here. So retail sentiment, we're going to add commodities here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I wanted to show you guys gold. So gold, again, I'm biased here because I have a trade open. 64% of retail traders are shorting gold. They're betting against the price of gold. Meanwhile, gold has overall been on a flow to the upside, a trend to the upside. This is actually, I like seeing this. As a trader long on gold, I like to see that the retail money is piled into a short side of the trade, whereas I'm more in the minority here with 36% of retail traders on the long side. If you guys want access to this software, by the way, the tool that I'm using is called the Edge Finder. I run a software company where we build tools for traders. And if you're interested in getting access to this tool, it comes with the smart money tracker, the retail sentiment indicator that you're seeing just recently. We also just recently implemented a bank signals tab, which I'll show you in a second. High probability watch list. As you guys keep seeing me go back to the watch list, that's how I find all my trade setups. Signals for 30 plus assets and pairs, and access is only a one-time purchase. So if you're interested in getting this, the link will be down below in the description, and there's a promo code YTVIP, same as the Discord. You can get access to this for a discount. We've got a sale going on right now. If you're interested in getting the Edge Finder, take advantage of that and grab your access down below. Now, again, the bank signals tab, as I mentioned, this is one of our more recent tabs. Now, it is very possible that this thing is under maintenance as we speak right now. The bank signals tab, what it does is it shows outlook from major banks. Now, they publish this stuff, and we've just used software to pull this in for you guys' convenience within the software. So if we're looking, for example, at the euro, you can see that Citi in a monthly target has a 1.1 for euro as their monthly target. In terms of a quarterly target, they think it's going to rise to 1.15. Now, this is useful information because if you want to follow the banks, what better to consider than their own statements, their own research teams putting out these numbers. Again, if you want to trade with the smart money, I personally, I'll give you guys my hot take. My hot take is I don't think smart money is easily observed through price action. I think if you really want to know what smart money is thinking, take it from their own research teams putting out content. So Wells Fargo, for example, thinks the euro is going to 1.0671 in the next month, and their quarterly targets or projections are 1.0786. Kind of an interesting divergence, but we also have summed up the whole thing here for you, giving you the bank rating. So overall, there's a slight preference towards the bearish side on the EURUSD in the monthly category, and a slight more bullish outlook in the quarterly. So interesting stuff. So when we go look at the EURUSD, right, we've had a hot run up. Many institutional research teams are putting out that they think there's some, on average, some sort of decline coming for the euro. And then in the quarter, we continue to see some up movement. So perhaps with this recent run up, they think that this is a bit overdone, due for a pullback kind of thing, and longer term to the upside. This is how we read using the bank signals tab. And if this is something you're interested in, again, take advantage of that sale. The link is down below in the description. With that code YTVIP, you can access all of the software that I get to use each day in my videos. So there you go. So let's go back. Now, I wanted to point out something. A lot of sells on the Edge Finder going into this week, like a lot of sells. It's very, very interesting to see so many piled up. The pound USD comes to mind. We mentioned that in terms of COT data, that institutional money has been pulling sells, closing sells off on the pound USD. Let's see, GBPUSD. Pulling buys off the pound USD. Let me back that up here. We'll go take a look. So if we go look at GBP, here it is. In terms of institutional money, what we see is that we have 28,652 contracts to the long side. This is a decreased number from the previous reporting. Now, in terms of short contracts, a slight change, but not much. So for the most part, short interest has not changed, but long interest has declined. Now, again, this is not speculative. This is the COT data. We're not speculating what smart money is doing. We are looking statistically at what smart money is doing. Again, a lot of times, and I'm not bashing people who think this way, but a lot of times, a lot of traders talk about trying to interpret what smart money is doing through candlestick patterns. And in my opinion, the chart can be deceiving. I like to use technical analysis in confluence with sentiment analysis, like the commitment of traders data and pulling up retail sentiment, things like that. But looking only at the chart, in my opinion, misses a lot of the information. Based on this information that we have from the COT data, this makes sense. This move actually looks like, if anything, if we're following what smart money is doing, decreasing longs actually looks like this may be sort of forming some sort of early form of a top. You may get some sort of head and shoulders, you may get a pullback here, but if you see some sort of lower high, guys, this, in my opinion, looks very bearish for the pound USD. And if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I've been looking to short the pound, but not when it's doing this, right? When we're doing higher lows, higher highs, I want no part in trying to short this. However, if we start seeing a little bit of a crack to the other direction, like we've seen on Friday, pullbacks, if we start to see lower highs, yeah, I'm interested in potentially getting short if we start to see that formation occur. Now, again, we've got a level of what was resistance here, right? If price is able to break and hold those levels, if we start to see that pattern of lower highs, lower lows, I'm absolutely interested in shorting the pound USD with, of course, risk management in mind. And again, this is backed by the institutional reporting that we have as of Friday. And again, if we go look at the pound USD on our software, we can see that it gets a -5. COT data pointing -2, seasonality showing decline in the month of March. Several factors. And in terms of economic numbers, if we want to go fundamentals, GDP, inflation, unemployment, and interest rates all favor the US dollar over the pound. So I really like the pound USD short, and we'll be looking at this myself going into the week. And again, this is based off COT data, it's based off of economic numbers, and it's based off the chart. I'll go over this because for the newer people who are new to my videos, actually, do me a favor, guys. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below. Comment that you made it this far. I would really appreciate it just to know that those of you guys who are the loyals of the channel, you really watch the stuff in depth. If you made it this far in the video, let me know down below in the comments. I really appreciate you guys for making it this far. I genuinely mean that. I wouldn't be able to do this every day. This is what I love. I love making videos about this stuff. I love trading. I love investing. All this stuff is my passion. So if you're here with me this far, I know that this stuff is big interest for you too, because some of this stuff is not exciting to everybody. So if you made it this far, just let me know. I would love to see some comments like that. What I'd be interested here is when we talk about this stuff, right? We talk about 3 pillars. I talk about this very often on my channel. And for the regulars, you guys already know where I'm going with this. But let me just reiterate for the newer people. Technical analysis, this is where most retail traders, like 99% of retail traders, make all of their decisions based on what the chart is saying, right? If you were looking at this on Friday, you may have been saying, hey, I want to buy this thing. But we knew, using the other 2 categories, stay away from longs. Why? Because fundamentals and sentiment do not agree with the chart. I'm going to say that again. Most traders, they only look at chart patterns, and they do not look at fundamental analysis and sentiment analysis. This is things like COT data, retail sentiment. This is stuff like seasonality, economic numbers like GDP and unemployment. And most traders completely ignore these vital pieces of information when trying to make trading decisions. So they only go for the technical analysis side, which can be deceiving. This is my opinion. I've been doing this a long time. And in my view, most traders just stick to the technicals, but they oftentimes get themselves trapped thinking, hey, this chart looks beautiful. It's not going to end. But we knew that this trend to the upside is sketchy, right? Why? Because again, fundamentals and sentiment do not agree with the technicals at this time. When the technicals go bearish, this offers a unique scenario in which case we would have the trifecta, if you will. We have technical analysis pointing bearish. If this thing starts to, again, put in those lower lows, lower highs, we have fundamental analysis, which is economically bearish right now, right? We looked at the economic numbers, very much favoring the downside. Sentiment analysis, COT data definitely favors the downside as the dollar is very attractive and the pound is very weak, right? So if you guys made it this far, like I said, let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And again, if you subscribe to the same kind of trading concepts that I do, we use the full picture. If you don't have the Edge Finder, I highly encourage you to get access. Now, if you don't have the money, I understand. It is a costly product. I will say it has costs associated to it, but the cost is well worth it because you're getting access to a full picture of all the data that we use, and also it's that one-time fee. So if you're interested in it, like I said, the link is down below in the description. And the reason I'm pitching it is because we do have a sale going on right now, and I don't want you guys to miss it. All the information will be down below in the description. And also because, again, this tool has been a monster project for us to build. You can only imagine, how much goes into building this sort of stuff. I have several people that I've hired. This thing is very costly to maintain, that sort of thing. So again, I am always, of course, interested in getting people to sign up to get access to it, to help more improve their trading. You guys see me use it every single day, and also to support our project as we continue to build more features for the tool. Thank you guys for tuning into this weekly video. I really appreciate you being here. Hopefully you have a great trading week ahead, and we'll see you back in the next video. Bye, guys.